I took a nap. Yes, I took a nap this morning. And I'm so freaking proud. It's even making me emotional because I could never imagine I would ever say that. Because in my mind, in a family I grew up, naps are for babies and for senior people who have all the right and respect to take a break because they are tired. Naps in my family, like, no, that's for lazy couch potato people who have nothing to do in their lives, and so their lives are wasted and they are getting nowhere and they should be judged and condemned and looking at as bad example. No naps during the day. Welcome to the Zen Supermom Podcast. The episode today is for those moms or dads, parents, who want to go back to being you. For whatever reasons on your parenting journey, you feel like you have sacrificed so much and you have gone like so far away from who you used to be before that it makes you feel resentful towards your kids or your spouse, and you feel like you don't even recognize yourself anymore. You have no idea like who am I and what do I want? If I was not a parent who has so many responsibilities, such long to-do lists, and if it was not so heavy everything, what would I want for myself? If you would like to look at this, not from like heavy philosophical, trauma therapeutic viewpoint, if you want to look at it from a gaming fun point, and start bringing more of that fun, joy, peace, and light back into your life again, then this episode is going to be for you. Hi, Supermom or Superdad. Alena here, your mommy tantrum specialist and the founder of the Zen Supermom system. And me and my team have helped hundreds of moms and dads start setting healthy boundaries with calm. And this is the first parenting podcast that is not about your kids, that shows you why none of the parenting techniques helped you stop yelling at your kids and how to control your emotions from jumping out so that you can be the safe, loving parent you wish you had growing up. This is the Zen Supermom Podcast. Hi, Supermoms. And anybody who wants to feel like you need to bring more fun and joy back into your life, everybody is invited to the party. We are an inclusive community. My name is Alena. I'm the founder of the Zen Supermom system, where we help busy moms and dads start bringing more calm and peace into their daily interactions with their kids so that they can set healthy boundaries without yelling. And this episode today is inspired by my own journey again. Get ready for some juicy stories. And also by what we are doing then, what I'm bringing into the Zen Supermom and Zen Super Dad programs, because it's always whatever I'm going through in my life, I feel like our clients can use some of that as well, and usually it resonates well. So this is what we've been doing in the month of May when I'm recording this podcast episode. Our theme of the month in the group has been, wouldn't it be fun if? Just this as a prompt, as a seed to plant in your brain. Wouldn't it be fun if? Because if for some reason you got attracted into this podcast episode, it would suggest that you might be struggling with some of the things that our clients are struggling and that I am still like working through as a busy business mom and like helper for others, but being here for myself too. This is the trap that I found myself very often in. Okay. I used to be the ultimate self-sacrificing martyr, resentful of my husband who had it so easy. His life didn't change much. Whenever he had a day off, he could spend the time sleeping and just resting and relaxing. And then the better he was at his self-care, the more work I had on my to-do list. And it was like creating this tension in our relationship. it was making me feeling stressed and feeling like I didn't like it. I always wanted to be a mom. I always wanted to be a wife. But I didn't. I was like, is that how it really is supposed to work? And I saw my parents doing exactly the same thing, by the way. And even though I wanted to have it different, I was wondering, like, how? How? Because I still have a daughter to take care of. I am asking my husband for help, and he's doing parts of it. Okay, not perfect. He's doing something, but not enough. I quit my job and started a business, which brought a whole set of new things to work through. And so with all of these responsibilities and us being an expatriate family, so not having any grandparents on speed dial, like if something happened, if my daughter got sick and I suddenly found out in the morning that I have to cancel all of my work plans because I need to be taken care of extremely unhappy, sad child who's in pain and needs like 100,000 of my attention, percent of my attention. And so how can I start bringing some of that joy and self-care into my life when I have so much to do, so much going on, not enough time? And even if my day had 48 hours at the time, it would still not be enough. Because even if everything got done for my family, then I would be running into my learning, like my private to-do list, things that I love to learn and explore and do better for my business, for my clients, things where I'm not good enough in helping them. So doing additional certifications and improving the program and like blah, 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 blah. The voices in my head would never, ever let me stop. Okay. So this is where I realized, like, okay, first of all, the childhood trauma therapy we are doing inside the program and the first aha moments I had as a mom was when I realized, okay, it's all going back to my childhood. It's the hyperachiever, controlling perfectionist that my mom gave me because that was my mom's way of handling stress. And so that was my blueprint. By watching mom, this is how I learned how to go through tough, heavy, loaded life by doing it this way, by hyperachieving, constantly being on the run, never taking rest. And if you see anybody else taking rest, judging them for being lazy, not helpful, and it's their fault, and blaming everything on them. This is what I learned by watching my mom. And no matter how hard I tried to change it, and for my life when I became a mom, it was hard because I didn't know. I still love and admire my mom. She was my hero always. I knew there were some parts that I wanted to do in a different way, but how? So the first step was I cleaned up that childhood. I cleaned up that pain of what results it had on me growing up with a mom like this, without blaming her, without finger pointing at her. And then I had to learn the healthy way of coping with stress, healthy way of, first of all, recognizing that these voices in my head, they're not telling the truth. It's not the truth that if I just keep running after my to-do list that it will get done, and then I will be worthy of feeling good about myself, feeling good enough, because that moment never comes. Because your to-do list never ends, right? The moment you run at the bottom, your super smart brain already figures out the next thing to put down there on the list, right? And there's always something that gets undone. So then at the end of the day, you're going to sleep and you're still feeling like, and I still have to do this. So I can't feel good about myself because I didn't do everything. And then even if you do everything that day, then I don't know how about your voices in my head, but mine were then criticizing me. Even if I did everything, I didn't do it perfectly or well enough. So then my perfectionist voices in my head kicked in saying like, well, you did this, but you could have spent more time, you could have done it better, and there are other moms who do it even better, and with a smile on their face, but you yelled at your daughter, you lost it. Thank you, perfectionist. Thank you, judge, in my head. Yeah. And even if everything would then be finished on my list and even being as perfect as possible, then my controlling voice would jump up in my head, starting to plan the next day. Of course, you're always 10 steps ahead, right? While you're trying to do what's on your plate today, you're already planning for the next day and week and month so that you can anticipate and make everything well organized and structured so that you can save time and be more efficient. Amazing. Great. How is that working for you? Well, it didn't work for me. All it did was leaving me stressed, resentful, not having any fun. This is where I see this happen so often with so many moms. We start to lose ourselves for the sake of those to-do lists, for the sake of doing everything for everybody else and putting ourselves not even at the bottom of the list. I was nowhere on my list because I was so busy judging my husband for taking his time off that if I would even consider doing something for myself, that means I would be out of integrity. How can I keep judging him if I then do the same thing? So I locked myself into impossible situation. I couldn't even consider taking a break because that would mean I would have to stop judging him. But that didn't sit well. Then what do I do? Yeah. So if you know what I'm talking about, if that resonates with you, then I have the following invitation for you. Invitation for a playful game. Just consider what would happen if you flipped the script in your head and instead of all of this heavy, not fun, painful, stressful stuff that I just described, you planted a thought in your mind that starts by saying, wouldn't it be fun if? And just wait what comes up. Because this is the power, and I share that, I tell that to all of our Zen Supermom clients. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. Okay, and that's not my quote. I got it from my mentor, and I'm sure he got it somewhere. But look how, feel it, how powerful that is. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. If you spend your day running around thinking, why is he doing this to me? This is not fair. How am I supposed to manage it all? Why can I not rest? Why can you not leave me alone for a minute? Why are you not listening? Why are you making me so angry? How is it, how can I even take some time off? It's blah, 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 blah. What would change if instead you planted this question in your mind? Wouldn't it be fun if? And this is not to do any kind of toxic positivity, pretending that your life is great and it's as if you were having a sunny day on a beach with a cocktail in your hand and a book and everything and everybody was taken care of. This is not to escape your life. It's not to avoid taking responsibility for it. But this is to give you a break you deserve. A break you're worthy of taking. So, you want my juicy story about the break I took this morning? Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I feel like a kid. Because I have a big announcement to make, okay? I took a nap. Yes, I took a nap this morning. And I'm so freaking proud. It's even making me emotional because I could never imagine I would ever say that. Because in my mind, in a family I grew up, naps are for babies and for senior people who have all the right and respect to take a break because they are tired. Naps in my family, no, that's for lazy couch potato people who have nothing to do in their lives, and so their lives are wasted and they are getting nowhere and they should be judged and condemned and looking at as bad example. No naps during the day. Yeah, but I woke up this morning after I worked the last 2 nights. I had night calls with like individual clients and group clients. I worked a lot. I'm still sick. I have not been able to get rid of it fully because I am working longer hours, which is not my hyperachiever. It's not. I have been taking breaks whenever I could, but it was my decision to push through. I know I will have to take a break very soon before it backfires on my health. So all of this is perfectly in control as much as it can be, and I'm at peace with it. However, when I woke up this morning, I usually start my day with some kind of mindfulness space. So either my yoga practice, or when I'm not feeling well physically, then it's at least a little like visualization and cleaning up my energy so that I don't carry anything from the last day or from the morning into my day with my clients, because they have already enough of their stuff. I don't need to give them my stuff. So I was starting to do that, and I was doing an eyes closed visualization, and I realized like, I just wish I could take a nap. I feel I need more sleep. And so I did. Guilt-free. And I was even giggling as I was falling asleep because it felt so luxurious. As if I went to the most expensive, beautiful spa ever. It felt better than that. Because I never ever allowed myself before to take a nap during the day. The only time that I can remember I slept during the day was when I was so sick that I had such high fever when my body was giving up that I could even not go to the bathroom because it felt like climbing Mount Everest. Those are the days that happen probably once in 10 years when I allow myself to lie down and not work, not be productive and effective, and take a nap. Today, I took a nap without feeling like I'm dying. I took a nap because I felt my body needed it and my energy needed that. I knew I wanted to record this podcast episode. I have some assessment calls coming up with women who are curious about joining our program. I have an interview coming up with somebody who I want to hire for our team to help me offload more of my tasks. I have a day full of meetings, full of appointments, when I am the one who's giving the energy and who needs to have like all of my stuff cleaned up. I couldn't do that effectively if I was running on empty and if I was feeling down. And so I feel really proud and really weird in a fun way to tell you and to publicly admit, just between you and me, okay? Don't tell anybody else. This is our little secret. No, just kidding. But I took a nap and I didn't feel guilty about it. I felt, on the contrary, I felt amazing. And it did help me. I feel better. It was probably just half an hour. But I felt better already before I dozed off. Because already at that point I realized I'm just breaking another little tiny piece of generational patterns that were running in my family that were not supportive of the life that I want to have. Yeah. And also, not only I want this to be your invitation for, okay, let me put my microphone closer because I can hear my neighbors are having fun, drilling, hammering. Perfectly imperfect. Welcome to my home. 2 things that I want to mention. Excuse me. 1, and now I forgot it. Hey people, let me think. One thing that I didn't want to forget was, you might be listening there thinking like, yeah, great woman, so your day is as you have it. You can have whatever schedule you want, so you can take naps during the day. I can't because I'm working full-time, or I'm around my kids. I'm a full-time home CEO, full-time mom with kids around. I wish I could take a break, but I can't. So easy for you to say you're taking naps, but I can't. Okay, judge in your head. That's fine. I hear you. I also want to let you know this is not where I started. The fact that I can take naps during my morning is only due to the fact that I did make that hard decision to quit my corporate job 10 years ago. I think I'm going to have some anniversary here. No, it's not 10 years. 10 years ago, I did my coaching certification and I started my business in parallel to my job. By the way, yes, I was doing my certification at night, and during the weekends, I was learning and practicing. So that was already when I started, I wouldn't say sacrificing, but when I started dedicating time and energy into building a new path for me and my future. It was even before I met my husband. That's it. So I've been preparing for this day for 10 years. I hope it's not going to take you 10 years before you can take your nap. But I couldn't do this when I was in my corporate job. It's true, I couldn't. But I knew, and that's for another story, for another podcast episode, but just quickly here, you always have a choice. And every decision you make, every life situation in which you are, it comes with pros and cons. Every coin has two sides. Being an employee had amazing perks, had amazing benefits for me. It was safe. It was safe to receive the money every month. I knew exactly that when I came to work, I knew approximately when I could leave, sometimes longer. But it was contained, and I did not have to spend too much time thinking about my job when I came back home. I didn't have to work most of the weekends. Sometimes I did, not always. That was the corporate job. There would be no naps allowed. When I started to realize that's not what I want to do for the rest of my life, and I do want to build my own path, I had to do it in parallel. I had to sacrifice. I had to spend a lot of time on top of my job to prepare this path slowly, step by step. And then I had to also work on everything that went with it, because owning your own business, being a freelancer, anybody who's here listening who have started their own business, you can confirm if that's true for you too. But it comes with a whole set of new challenges that you have to clean up from your past, including your money beliefs, including you feeling good enough and feeling worthy, including the imposter syndrome. Who am I to help anybody? Who am I to say that I'm an expert in anything and I can help them? It comes with, it basically brings up everything that you ever did not deal with and try to swipe it under the carpet. It comes up when you become an entrepreneur, when you go out there and now you're not just part of some company and talking on somebody's behalf, but it's you who you're selling basically to other people, who you're promoting. You have to become visible. You cannot be shrinking and what will the haters say? And can I say that? And what if I make somebody upset? There's all this stuff you have to work through. Yeah. So yes, I can take naps now that I allow myself to do. I can take naps maybe sometimes in the morning. But what is all the work that I was doing in order to be able to get here? So let that not take you 10 years before you can take your first nap. And start asking the question to yourself right now in your mind, wouldn't it be fun if? And whatever your wouldn't it be fun if is, maybe you're not about, you don't need to take naps, but what else is there? What else came up as an answer to that question in your mind? That your judge maybe came in first and said, no, maybe it would be fun, but you can't. And this is why, list of reasons. Well, wouldn't it be fun if you learned how to deal with your inner critic and judge? Wouldn't it be fun if you could remove all that list of usually BS excuses and reasons? Wouldn't it be fun if you found a way how to do it anyways? Maybe you can't take a nap because you're a full-time working mom. Well, wouldn't it be fun if you could do something else in the time you have? If the moment you stop feeling like you have to run after your to-do list in order to feel you're good enough, what would become possible then? If you had none of these criticizing, judging voices in your head. If you had no attachment to still being the victim of your story and blaming it on others. What would happen then? What kind of fun would you like to have? maybe once in a while? What is the fun that you could have maybe every day? In some way. It doesn't matter how long it would take. But what is some spark, some joy that you could do for yourself, not for anybody else? It's none of their business. Nobody needs to know. If you want to let them know, feel free. But this is for you. What is the fun that you do deserve to have and that you can create if you stop holding on to your victim martyr stories? What would become possible then? What is the fun that you would allow yourself to get? This is what I want to hear from you. So I hope this episode maybe helped you uncover some more of your own stories and patterns from your childhood, that it helped you see that you too are allowed to have fun. That doesn't take away anything from how much and how well you're already doing. It does not. All it's going to do is to make you more effective. I cannot imagine what kind of podcast episode I would be doing here if I forced myself to come on this morning while still feeling drowned. I can't imagine what kind of message I could give you here, trying to persuade you to go for it and be a calm and happy mom when I was not feeling really that way. This is the power that you have. Yes, we will do it. You will do it for you. You will have fun, and you will give your permission to have fun without feeling selfish. But also then, look at the ripple effect. How is that going to help your family and your kids once they see their mom having fun too? What an impact that's going to have on them. How is that going to change how you show up with your kids? Maybe for me, I know definitely less judgmental towards not only my daughter, but also my husband. Having more compassion, because now that I got off my high horse, as they say in English, because this is why we do it sometimes as well, right? We want to feel superior. I'm better, I'm more hardworking, I can do more things, and I have more responsibilities. Look at it, how a heavy life situation I have. So I deserve some respect and pat on the back, huh? So everybody look at me. I'm such a victim, I have it so hard and I'm doing it anyways. That's part of it too, right? Why we hold on to these victim stories. The moment you get off your high horse, the moment you admit you're human too, and that you deserve to allow yourself to take some rest, that means that you will give the permission, you will create the space for the people around you to do the same. And isn't that wonderful? So, may this episode bring you more peace, joy, fun, compassion into your lives. I cannot wait to hear from you what kind of fun you allowed yourself to have in the coming days. Keep me posted. Take very good care. Want to know why those gentle parenting techniques are not working for you? Where is that uncontrollable anger that you feel with your kids? Where is it coming from? Then download this mini book. I prepared it for you, busy, loving, but yelling supermom or superdad. Because no, it's not about learning more parenting techniques. It's not about doing classic talk therapy. It's not about more self-care time so that you can de-stress. No, there's something deeper going on. It's not even about your kids. So I compiled this mini book out of my most successful 1 hour long live training that I'm doing. I compressed it in just a few pages so that you can learn these 2 keys that you need to be able to stay calm with your kids, no matter how stressed you are, no matter how much they are pushing your boundaries, so that you know what it's going to take for you to stay calm and set healthy boundaries without yelling. Want to know how? Get that mini book now.